I'm Carrie Patrick, your host for Eye on St. Lucie, and we are here at Fort Pierce Central High School in the Cobra Cafe, joining with the induction and installation of new officers and members for the Key Club, one of the oldest and largest student service organizations for high school students. Let me share a few interesting facts with you. This is a student-led organization that builds on leadership through service to others. They are actually mentored under the umbrella of the Kiwanis organization, and they are 400 strong in Florida. As they build themselves, they build on service to the community. It's a fantastic organization. And today I have Mr. Troy Ingersoll with me to help guide us through this installation and induction ceremony, as well as introduce us to a few key members and the up-and-coming president of this fantastic organization. So, Mr. Ingersoll, I mentioned that the Key Club sponsors and mentors students around the world, and you certainly are quite an inspiration to the youth in your multiple roles. As a youth pastor, you influence students positively. We have you as a mentor here in the Key Clubs, and then certainly on the school board, you are an influence to youth everywhere. Tell me specifically, what do you do here as a Key Club sponsor?
Well, thank you, Carrie, and it's just an honor just to be here on your show. But what we do with Key Club is we sponsor a teacher. It started out with a student wanting to get more involved in the community, and they were looking for a conduit to do that. So they used our Downtown Sunrise Kiwanis Club, and fortunately for me, I was president at the time, and I already had that relationship built with some of the students. And we said, well, let's use Key Club as a service organization back to our community. And that's how it basically started. And then from there, we had to find a student sponsor, or a teacher sponsor, and Denise Pescio stepped up and was more than willing to do that because she just had a heart for giving back to our community and seeing students become leaders. And not only do we just do that here at Fort Pierce Central, but we also have one at Lincoln Park, Treasure Coast High School, and we're trying to start one at Westwood High School too. That one hasn't taken off as well, but we're hoping to see some growth out of it next year. So we encourage that any students in those schools get more actively involved in your community through the Key Club. And we do quite a few activities, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about that from other students.
Well, I know that, as students talk to one another, that's how we grow these organizations. And I've had an opportunity to speak to your current president, and I know these numbers have significantly grown. And today is a very special day because we're going to induct some new members, and our audience will be able to see this induction. Just share with our viewing audience a little bit in summary form about what we will see today.
Sure. What we're going to see today is the president that's graduating, that's going off to Stetson University, so he's not going to be around to help mentor any of them, but he's done a phenomenal job this year mentoring some younger students, some juniors and sophomores, and they're going to come and take the reins and learn the expectations of their office. So he'll give a quick speech, and we also have our other advisor, which is Miss Deb Mock, that does a phenomenal job organizing, because this is just like a phenomenal organization, and that's how she runs it. And this club is just very successful. We have over 70 students actively involved, and this is only our second year. And LPA is just as strong. I think LPA has 90 students in theirs, and their student advisors is just as strong. But this is going to be a pretty cool installation. We're going to get a new president, new vice president, secretary, and treasurer, and an editor too. And they're just going to do a phenomenal job, and they're going to get sworn in today.
Well, I'm excited about seeing this, and I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into my history. I'm actually a graduate of Fort Pierce Central High School, and when I was in school, I was a Keyette.
Oh, you rock!
So let's take a look and see what goes on.
Cool.
Thanks.
So thank you for being here today. As you guys know, our Key Club chapter was founded through the Fort Pierce Sunrise Kiwanis, and we would like to thank them for being with us every step of the way. So let's give them a round of applause. Our club was started in 2015, towards the end of the school year. So since it was so late, we weren't able to, open up to the rest of the school. But so this year, our founding members will be graduating. So that's good. So through Key Club, we've met many people in the community. We've become close with the Kiwanis members, and we've been able to help serve the community through different volunteer programs. This year we did our second annual pumpkin patch, where we helped unload the pumpkins from the truck. That was a big thing, which we didn't do last year, but we were able to do this year. And then we helped place them on the egg crates and help mow the lawn. That was always so much fun. Another thing is we're very active during Christmas time when we helped with the WPSL Christmas for Kids. This was our second year doing that, and then we helped with the Kiwanis Christmas Day Parade. And it's great to see that so many of you participated. I know that we had the requirement to complete volunteer hours, as we are a service-focused club. And I would just like to thank everyone for coming out and doing that. As you know, you were awarded with cords being a senior and having completed the required service hours, and I would like to congratulate you guys for that too. Can we please recognize the seniors that will be graduating as Key Club members?
Please
stand up. So, as one of the founding members, and as the former Key Club president, I say unto all the members and to the Key Club officers that the Key Club has been a big part of my high school career, and it has helped to shape me who I am today. Without the International Key Club and meeting all of the students and seeing how, as just each student, we can individually contribute to the community. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to be your president for 2 consecutive years.
On behalf of the club is to recognize all of the officers that have served for the past year. As you know, you heard Troy speak, and he told you all of the things that we do, and he didn't mention everything. We're a very active club. The students every week take the recycle bins out and fill the big bins out back for that. We've done things for Weatherby Elementary. It's a very active club, and we just hope to have that continue to grow as we continue to sponsor you guys and we go down years from now. We want this club to be the best club on campus. I would like to start with Sarai. Would you come up? Sarai was our secretary. Secretary is a very important responsibility of the Key Club because we do communicate so much. If you'll stay up. And then Riley was our treasurer. Thank you, Riley, for everything that you've done. And Elizabeth Hoffman. These guys were so good about making sure they were at every meeting. And then lastly, I can't say enough about Troy and his leadership, his willingness to want to start the Key Club. He really was the impetus behind us getting started here and made sure that everything happened, and really going to miss him and his leadership skills. So Troy, if you would come forward, we have a plaque and appreciation for your commitment and dedication as president of the Fort Pierce Key Club. We get a gratitude to them, and we know that our next set of officers that are about to be installed will be as wonderful as these people have been. Okay, so now I would like to introduce the president of Sunrise Kiwanis. Javi Cineros is coming up, and he will do the installation of the incoming officers.
So would the incoming officers please stand and come forward? If you guys don't mind just lining up here. Okay, all right. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to make this quick. Okay. Having been elected to the office of president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, class directors, you are responsible for working with club advisors to make sure club business is accomplished. You are responsible for the administration of the affairs of the club. You must determine the policies and activities of the club, work with prospective members, and continue to develop a strong club. You are charged with the control of all its bills and its monies. If, in brief, all the general management of your organization rests upon you. You have a role at all club meetings, so please plan to attend and take an active part in all of club activities. Express your opinions by always thinking of the best interest of the whole club, not individual members or your personal wishes. To the editor, you've been elected to serve your club as editor. The job of editor is vital to the success of Key Club. You're responsible for the prime tool of communication, the club newsletter, as well as other forms of communication. You are the voice of the club to the school and to the community. Let everyone know exactly what your club is doing to serve the children of the world. To the treasurer. You've been elected to serve your club as treasurer. In addition to financial ability, this office demands personal integrity, a quality your fellow club members saw while electing you to office. Your duties will be to oversee the funds of your club, to keep proper records, and to distribute them among proper order. To the secretary. You've been elected to serve your club as secretary. The job of a secretary is one of the most challenging. It's your duty to keep a careful and accurate record of the activities of the club and preserve the records for further reference. You'll record membership, attendance, and minutes of all meetings of the club. You'll keep the club organized, which will greatly contribute to the success of the group. To the vice president. You've been elected to serve your club as vice president. As next in office to the president, you become her understudy. You may be asked at any time to step up in her absence or incapacity. Let me then ask you to give careful attention to what I'm about to say to the elected president and to consider remarks as being addressed to you. To the president, it's a pleasure to welcome you as the elected chief executive of this organization. It's a great honor to serve as president, an office that makes you the highest authority, but also gives you the heaviest responsibility. You will give careful preparation and attention to your role of presiding at meetings, give serious thought to the selection of your committees, seeking counsel from others, and consulting with your fellow officers and Kiwanis and faculty advisors. Keep in constant contact with your committees and advise them in your work. Be ready to suggest to the Board of Trustees such plans as you may think would benefit the club. Remember that you are the president of a democratic club and that you work with your fellow officers and committees to further the mission of this club. I urge you in your leadership to keep one goal at the center of all your plans and endeavors, namely to make the Key Club more vital to its members and more serviceable to the community. To all officers, it's a privilege to welcome you into an official responsibility for the welfare of this club. I'm sure that you are deeply appreciate the honor bestowed upon you by your fellow members, and that you may enter upon your official business with the earnest resolution to be faithful to the trust placed in you. I congratulate you, and I congratulate the club for the wisdom for its choices for its official leadership. The success of the club does not depend upon any one of you individually, but upon all of you collectively. It's the democracy of the Key Clubs. In the democracy of Key Clubs, there should be no division among the elected representatives. It's very important. Place in charge of its affairs. I therefore charge you never to hold your respective personal opinions above the collective opinions of this entire body. As you each rightly seek to give your best to the club, I urge you also to seek the best from your fellow members. Let all the board members freely share their ideas about club activities and discussion, and let them be adopted only by the will of the majority. Finally, let me remind you that Key Club is a service club. It has definite objects. Every member is convinced that these objects offer a practical and effective plan not only to develop each member into a better citizen, but through you build a better nation. It's your job to translate the convictions into action. Yours is the leading and directing part of the process for making the objects of Key Club work and make them deeply meaningful. I hereby declare you officers officially installed. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. The first thing that we are going to do is give them a pen to recognize that they will be the incoming officers for next year. And then as Nicole's very first function, she's going to call the rest of you forward to receive your pens if you will be in the club next year as well.
We'll follow them, juniors. Please stand up and come. Will sophomores now come up?
So I'm now here with Sarai Palacio, who is a graduating senior from Fort Pierce Central High School. Thank you for joining me today. This was a phenomenal ceremony, and I enjoyed being part of it. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. This is such an exciting time, and I understand that you are really going to be having some tremendous opportunities as a first-generation college student. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm the first in my family to go to college and first on my father's side to graduate high school, so I'm really, really excited.
And you also have been a member of Key Club, which is, again, an outstanding organization. You were the secretary of this organization, so you've got leadership under your belt. You're going to be going to college. And within the Key Club, you've been an outstanding member of this organization who serves the community. Can you tell me a little bit about what being a member of this club and serving your community means?
Being secretary of Key Club for Fort Pierce Central was really an honor. It's a really challenging role, so I'm excited to see how my successor is going to do. We did a lot of organizations. We did the beach cleanup, we did parades, and it was just really such an honor to be there. And also being a first generation, my parents never were participating in clubs at their high school, so for me to be a part of this club and to do all the activities that we were doing, it's really, truly an honor.
Well, you know, whenever we have our students become involved in our community, it really does mean a lot, because when you give back to the community, that's your investment in the community. And I know that whenever you all go away to college, we look forward to you coming back and being a part of this community, being the leaders, our future leaders. And so thank you so much for what you've done as a high school student. You're going to be studying criminology and political science. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be majoring in criminology and minoring in political science.
So there are many, many opportunities in St. Lucie County for you once you do receive your degrees, and we look forward to all of the things that you are going to be learning and all of the things that you have had the opportunity to do in Key Club, bringing those skill sets back to our community and making it an even better place to live, to learn, to play, and to grow. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
So, Troy, thank you so much. This is Troy Surloff, another fine student from Fort Pierce Central High School, and you are a graduating senior, but you are not just any graduating senior, you are the valedictorian of Fort Pierce Central High School.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me here.
It is certainly my pleasure. Now, you are the epitome of a student leader. You are the valedictorian of the class. You are the president of this organization here on campus. And even more importantly and impressive, you're the founder of the Key Club. So that's quite a leadership role that you have assumed. Tell me, what inspired you to want to found a Key Club organization here on campus?
So I found my inspiration from Troy Ingersoll, my youth pastor. I told him I wanted to be more active in the community and help others in the high school find their leadership roles and help to serve their community and learn from other influential role models. And then he mentioned that he had a Kiwanis club and that they would be willing to sponsor a high school Key Club. And then through the Fort Pierce Sunrise Kiwanis, we've grown our club to be the largest service club on campus and really grown our membership and have seen great participation from all of our students.
So from one idea, you planted a seed on one campus, and Mr. Ingersoll mentioned earlier the multiple school campuses in which we have Key Clubs now, and we look forward to more campuses having them. I know that you know the student numbers, so why don't you tell our viewing audience how many people we now have as a Key Club organization?
So we now, as the service club on campus that's recognized as most active, we have 70 members on campus, and our sponsor, Ms. Pescio, made the joke that held true, and it's that when people ask us in the community, they ask us to come volunteer, they ask us for our club to come, and she says, well, you better be prepared for the whole club to come because our membership and attendance rate is phenomenal, being such an active organization on campus and throughout the community.
Well, I think that speaks to your mission too, because when you have leaders that are prepared to serve, you don't take that lightly. It's something that you do take to heart, and you're a very positive role model for that. Where do you see this organization going in the future with the opportunities to serve our community?
I see this organization growing when we have freshman orientation and we have open houses at the high school and where we showcase our attractor programs. Key Club is always one of the most highlighted clubs at the event. And being an active club for only 2 years, 3 years since its founding date, we've grown so much, and we hope to see a surplus in growth in the coming year.
That's outstanding. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you being here with us today. If anyone watching this program today were to be interested in learning more about the Key Club, would they be able to contact Fort Pierce Central High School or any high school and just speak to a guidance counselor? What would they do?
Yes, ma'am. They could contact Fort Pierce Central High School, and they could reach out to our teacher sponsor, Miss Denise Pescio, or they could reach out to our guidance counselor, Miss Kim Johnson.
Okay. And I'm sure, too, they could reach out to perhaps the Kiwanis organization in general. Many, many ways to do that. We want to continue to grow this organization.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. And congratulations on being valedictorian.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Now we have Nicole Lehman, Fort Pierce Central High School. And Nicole, you are going to be assuming a role of leadership here with the Key Club. You are the incoming president who was installed at today's ceremony. And congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
You've got some big shoes to fill, but I know that you are going to be dynamic in that role. And we're going to talk about the third leg of the mission of the Key Club, and that is to build character. Now, why is character such an important piece of the mission of the Key Club?
Character is important because when you're around others, people want to know that they can trust you and hold you responsible for what you do. So you don't want to show off that you have a bad character because people wouldn't want to be around you. And if you want to be a leader, it's important to have good character.
Well, I think that is spoken like a true leader. And I also know that you have big aspirations for your future career, and character is going to be vitally important in what it is that you have chosen to do. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I'm fighting over right now going towards the University of Florida for dental hygiene or dental school in general. in becoming an orthodontist, but as a student of the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University program we have here at Fort Pierce Central, I have aspirations into aviation and hopefully maybe joining the Air Force.
Okay. And certainly as a member of the Air Force, we want people of the highest character to be leading our military forces and our nation. So character is certainly something that's important for all students, really, whenever we are looking forward to moving and advancing in our careers and our college pursuits. So it is very, very important. All of these elements, character, leadership, and service. And as the president of the Key Club, you've got a lot to look forward to. I know our members are looking forward to you being someone whom they can look up to. Do you have any major plans or goals, or are you still trying to figure out the direction that you are going to take this club?
So I plan to work alongside with other big, what's the word for it? Other organizations that are nonprofit that we have in this community that we have, and to work with just a generalization of other places that we do with community service that deal with our same ordeals, and just have a chance to have students be able to learn the same leadership skills that I've learned through Troy Sherloff and the other past members.
Sounds like a great place to start, working with the people that you've had a tremendous and positive experiences with. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure our viewers at home have enjoyed hearing what you have to say about the direction of this organization. Thank you. Well, Mr. Ingersoll, I've enjoyed meeting your members of this club, and you certainly have a fine group of student leaders. Do you have any upcoming events or anything that you would like to share with our viewing audience? Because now's the time.
Most definitely, Ms. Patrick. Thank you for having us on. And I do want to thank Troy and Sarai and Nicole for coming on and just sharing what they do in our community and what they do for our Key Club. But as a Kiwanis Club, we meet every Thursday at Cobb's Landing at 7:30, and we're open up to the community, and we just would like more people to be involved. And we give back. We give back in many ways. First up and coming is our golf tournament starting in June 9th, and that's the way that we get funding for the activities that we do for the students of St. Lucie County. We go to schools to read. We have a bug program bringing up grades. So we adopt certain schools, and when the students bring up grades, we reward them with certain gifts. We also do a Friday Fest where we sponsor a Friday Fest. We sponsor the Fort Pierce City Parade. We do obviously the Key Clubs. We sponsor Westwood with a lot of with FFA. We buy a couple students' pigs, and we also give out scholarships to Key Club members and stuff at Indian River Community College. We give out scholarships there too. So our club is very active in giving back to the children and our students of St. Lucie County. And I'm just so proud of the students that we have here at Central, at LPA, because they got some phenomenal students at a phenomenal club there too, and at Treasure Coast High School. And like I said, Westwood is just now, we tried starting it this year and we're working on it. But if you have any, if your parents or grandparents watching, please get a hold of us and we'll get your student involved here at school and campus, because it's part of a family. You get to know each other and work with each other and give back. So thank you, Ms. Patrick, for having us and putting us on today. Thank you.
Well, it was certainly my pleasure, and I do thank you and all of the Kiwanis Club's members, because I do see you in our schools very, very often, and you do sponsor so many of our events. And on behalf of the entire school district, thank you and your members for all that you do.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for our show today. I'm Carrie Patrick, and I thank you for joining us today. And on behalf of the WLX-TV team, we invite you to like us, watch us, and follow us on our social media channels. And as always, keep your eye on St. Lucie.